Beautiful people, what's happening? What's up? What's good? We are out here today on the single turbo Silverado. One of the last pieces that I needed here was these good old fittings. So these here are PTFE fittings. Y'all seen this before if you watch some of my other videos. I show how to use these PTFE fittings, why I use them, and all of that good info. So that stuff's a lot better with dealing with corrosive fuels, race gas, E85, stuff like that. So this is what I needed. I got two of them because I'm splitting in another filter after the fuel pump. So therefore, yeah, we got more filter for the fuel. I swapped out the fuel tank, so I have a new fuel tank in. That's installed. I'll let you check it out. So our new fuel tank is in. We have to just hang up these lines, get them tied up, get the pump tied up, and I'm gonna add in the other filter right in here. Once the line level out and I have a nice section where I can tie off that filter. It's gonna be a fun one. It's a little bright and a little heated, but I'm gonna get it done. So one of my grounds almost caught a fire. You got the boat out, buddy? So this wire here was smoking, and huge surprise. My nephew actually spotted it out as letting the fuel pump prime. He's like, yo, something's smoking. And this is what we have here. Directed to the ground. We just took the bolt out. But this is crazy, y'all. This oh well. Because yeah, I'm not, let's see, this goes straight to the ground wire itself. Yeah, either way, I kind of don't care. This isn't really quite my style. All right, so we have the AEM Wideband sensor here. We got a cell phone, but the actual gauge itself, and also a lot of the wiring. This here plugs into your wideband. This wire goes to the back of the gauge here. Boom. This one. And then you have this guy. Here's why I ordered this one specifically. It is the 30-0334. This is the piggyback that goes, it's not even a piggyback, it's just like a splitter. So this plugs into your OBD2, and then you can plug in your HP tuners. I want to say OBD2 and HP tuners all at the same in one word, but it's not. But yeah, you can plug this in your OBD2 port, which you can plug in your HP tuners into and do all your logging, and you can read the wideband through HP tuners with this here. So this is why I'll always get this one. It costs a little more, unfortunately, but hey, you got to pay to play. So we have this guy here, which also plugs into the back of the gauge, so it's going to send the signal, and also we have our power to power up the signal and the wideband itself. So we're going to wire this up. I don't have any instructions here. Who we are and what we believe. Yeah, not an instruction. Okay, so you got to download the instruction. I didn't download it. I'm not going to download it. I'm just going to wire this to I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Don't do as I say, nor do as I do, because it may not work. I've done this once or twice. What I'm going to do is put this to a 12 volt like switch on, probably through some type of something that turns on with the ignition, and then the ground is just a normal ground. I'm going to ground to the chest. That should power up my, and this I'm going to plug into where my O2 sensor is. So I know that was a whole lot of explaining, but we're going to get all that done. Right now I'm currently I was gonna do without my primary, but I may just leave my primary, put my wideband where my secondary is. I'm tempted. I know the primary is a better, more accurate reading. The secondary, they say it's going to be a little cooler area. It's going to read a bit leaner than it may be actually. So it'll make, you know what I mean? Like I'm going to be reading different than what it's actually reading. Do I want that? No. And then if I put it in the primary, then I just won't have a primary O2 sensor and only a secondary, which I don't think is quite the best. So here we got the Trailblazer SS. It's up on its side. I got the wideband plugged in, the secondary O2 sensor on this side, and I've already ran the wires, and you see we have two wires up here. We have one ground and one power. So this ground, it's pretty obvious. I'm gonna click the first closest ground right here. This power, I'm going to hit a 12 volt switch on. So I got a little voltmeter here. So if I go through, I touch these, you see we have power. Touch this side, we have power. Touch this side, we got power. We're gonna go all the way down the line, and you can see we have power, right? So these are not 12 volt switch on powers. They're all reading 12 volts, so that's good for my battery. This one does not read power. I don't know what it's for. I'm going to go on this 10 amp fuse. there. What I do, I simply just strip back my wire about that much and then wrap it around the fuse and pop it back in. I'm gonna take this wire, wrap it around one of these prongs. So it's a 2-prong fuse. I'm gonna wrap it around the prong, just coil it and pop it right back in. We're gonna turn on the ignition and check the voltage, make sure we got power going through it. Oh, there we go. We straight to the one that takes, or that the wire's hooked to, and both sides have voltage. So we got a good connection. It's working. It's doing its thing. That's what the ignition on. This one's getting power. So therefore, the power will be going to the wideband sensor gauge. You can see my wideband wire running right there across the top of the transmission. Let's look under the steering wheel, the helm here. So I do have my wires crossing through right here for now until I get my pod to put up. So yes, that looks a little bit off, but I mean, call it how you want to see it, right? And then under here, we got one little wire you could peek and poke at if you want to. I could tuck that up there easily. It takes 3 seconds, but that's where I'm going to plug in my HP tuners as I'm tuning it. So this is the cover for the side. I just haven't put it on there yet, but I just wanted you to get a real, like, non-fluffed ordeal on a wideband getting put on a car where it's not like, it doesn't look crazy, you know what I mean? I just put it in, like I said, a secondary O2 sensor bung. Because I'm not using it. There's no caps on here. I'm not going to use it. So that's on there. And I just raised up one half of the SS and popped it in there real quick. Gonna get HP tuners loaded on the computer. Get this thing down on the ground and start some VE table tuning. So it's gonna take a little while. I'm still learning myself, so I'm not in a hurry. I'm not trying to tune everything perfectly in 2 hours. No, I'll take my time and do it right. But with the wideband, it helps a lot. It's heating up, it's heating up. So a wideband has to heat up, and then when you start it up, it's doing its thing. Widebands, if you unplug, so let's say I unplug this where it's not heating up the wideband and I crank up the truck and drive it, it's actually damaging to the wideband. All right, so I am in Lambda right now, right? This here is super lean. Lambda Stoich is 1. So 1 is comparable to 14.7 to 1, which is Stoich for pump gas. So this is really lean right now. Let me jump. And it may level out with the temp. I don't know. I haven't drove it or anything. Just started up. Okay. And you also have this gauge here. So when it's over here, that means lean. It's not good. Let's see when it gets red. So when it's over here in the green, that means it has your fuel and it has more than enough fuel to do what it needs to do. And you can hear it even sounds cleaner. So like right here, if I'm tapping the gas with it over here, it's iffy. And then when it gets to, there it goes. So when it bounced up to like Stoich and I tapped the gas, it was very responsive versus just all fluttery. All right, cool. Yeah, I mean, it reads consistent, smooth as it should. So I'm gonna tune it like that. In worst case scenario, I already know the further the distance, the probability of it being off will be a little lean than anything else. So even if I tune it to Stoich and it says like it's reading Stoich, then it's gonna be a little richer. Does that make sense? Just like, you know, because the number that it says is gonna be, I feel like I'm confusing y'all or myself when I'm saying this. Yeah, the number that it's reading is leaner than it actually is. So if it's leaner than it actually is, it's right where it's supposed to be, a little rich. I'm gonna leave it where it's at because it reads fine. It doesn't have any hiccups. That's gonna be it for this video, folks. Hope you enjoyed the video. I didn't confuse you too much with the whole distance of where it's at from the collector of the header, and also just the information I'm giving you. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you got any recommendations or see where I can do something different, let me know. I'll hear you out for sure. Hope you enjoy the video. See you next one. Peace.